What happens when a couple of friends deep dive into silly Star Wars thoughts and questions you never knew you needed answered?
Do you think that Shmi and Qui-Gon did the Funky Town dance?
Oh, yeah.
You do?
Oh, yeah. 100% that was her being like, come on, let's go to bed, you know?
She was coming to invite us.
Yeah.
Join us for some casual conversation on the Cantina Chat podcast featuring Jordan and Sean.
All right. Thanks for coming back in to watch another episode of Cantina Chat podcast. Pretty excited today. We've got Acolyte hype on the table for today. Joining us, of course, we've got the Jedi Jester Jordan over here. We have our producer with us, the Force Ghost on the coast.
It's me.
Lovely. And I am your friendly neighborhood Sith, known as Sean. Today we've got the first two episodes of Acolyte that we're going to be reviewing, so that'll be cool. Then a little bit later we've got a little game to play, and then we're going to do our weekly draft that we do where we come up with a team to fight each other.
Yep.
And this week we're doing Droids, so that'll be fun.
Droid Arena.
But the most exciting part, of course, is our new Acolyte show that just came out. So we got to see the premiere, the first two episodes.
Yep.
What are your initial thoughts there, Jordan?
Honestly, I like it.
Yeah.
I think it so far looks great. Visually, looks great. Backgrounds, stuff like that are killer. Which, granted, a lot of the newer, like the shows that are coming out now, Ahsoka, same way. Ahsoka's like backgrounds and effects and everything that they put in was killer.
Visuals are great, yeah.
And Andor was another really good one.
True.
And then you have Acolyte that came out, and in my opinion, I think that it's like graphical wise, it's up there with Ahsoka.
You could tell it's a new show.
Yeah.
It looks great. It looks like
yeah.
they put budget into it. I especially like all the costumes and all the work that they did with like making the alien species and stuff. A lot of new aliens we've never seen before in the background everywhere. All the different planets that we got to go and see, 3 or 4 different places basically in the first couple episodes.
I think it was 4, probably like 4, different planets.
We've got kind of like a unique aesthetic to each one.
Yep.
The places look pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
All the costumes and stuff look great. I thought that came out pretty cool.
I mean, the thing with Star Wars is a lot of the times when you do different planets, they start resembling pretty hard. You know, like you either have desert, snow, or trees. You know,
Sure.
And with the newer episodes, even with trees and stuff like that, they change the color. They change, like the way the trees look. I mean, you can pretty much tell. And once again, Ahsoka is another good way to look at it too. But Acolyte, they did a very good job of distinguishing. Like, hey, we're on this planet. It's like, okay, that looks cool. And then they're like, okay, now we're going to this planet. And it's like, well, yeah, you could definitely tell it's a whole other planet. And then 2-3 planets later, you're still like, that's a whole different planet. You can definitely distinguish between planets now, which I think is pretty cool.
Yeah.
So
yeah, that's true. They definitely did a good job about making sure each thing had its own little theme and it kind of all tied in together.
Right.
I think it kind of feels sometimes when you watch some of the shows where like the universe is supposed to be massive, but sometimes it doesn't feel quite as big when they reuse the same alien species and stuff like that over and over.
Or they go back to the same planet.
Right, exactly.
Times.
That same thing. Why does everything happen on Tatooine?
Right,
that kind of
Tatooine.
thing.
I mean, we saw Jakku, I feel like a lot, but we didn't. But
Right.
I mean, we definitely heard about it a lot.
I think that it's cool in a show like this where we have all of the Padawans were people I've never seen before.
Well, even the Masters, the Knights, the Masters, we didn't see.
We've seen a couple of people already, like even the background aliens.
Yeah. You had the Padawan, Jackie.
Yeah.
I've never seen her species in the background or anything like
No,
that. She's
and
brand
Yorn
new.
or Yord, whatever his name was, Yord.
Yord.
Yord's Padawan in the very beginning.
Yeah.
I've never seen her before. And then you've got that. I especially liked. I think one of my favorite new ones was the place where the local Jedi temple was, the second temple.
Where
where Torben was, Master Torben.
Yeah.
When she first arrives there or whatever, she puts like some money in the. No, it must have been before that. I'm sorry, but she puts money in like a little
in the tray.
The tray.
That was the
person
very
sitting
first planet.
there.
That was with
right.
Master.
It's like
Endor-
10 seconds after the first episode. But that person is very cool looking. They've got almost like the Boamar monk like thing, but it's like a gas mask almost.
Yeah.
It's kind of weird looking. I like stuff like that. Just unusual. And
well,
weird.
even the aliens that were in the bar.
A lot of them were different. The barkeep. I've never seen that species.
I mean they've done a really good job about adding new looks, new species in, which is nice. I mean,
True.
Like I said, I do like seeing the difference and seeing change like that, because once again, the universe is so big.
Right.
there's
it
more
makes it feel
species than
big.
what we know. You
Yeah,
know what I mean?
exactly. So that feels more appropriate.
Yeah.
If everybody in the bar were Twi'leks and Moncala and whatever,
Right.
you kind of start to. It's like, well, that's all the same stuff you see all the
Yeah.
time. Like, it's cool to see them, but
Yeah.
I don't want to see only the same ones we've already seen.
What did you think of seeing the Trade Federation again?
I thought it was pretty cool. I think it's interesting seeing them at this stage where I feel like it's a little bit earlier on, because they seemed like their ship was kind of run down. It was kind of crappy. It
Right.
wasn't like the Trade Federation we've seen,
Right.
but they were pretty cool. They didn't really care about like the life of the mechanics or whatever, the mechnics.
No.
You know, they're like, screw them. You know,
Right.
they're just grease monkeys. They're
Well,
fine.
they have them there just to work on the ship. You know,
But,
what I mean? Like, that's all they care.
I do think that this is either the beginning of them doing fishy stuff or what, because like she made that comment about like, what, the Trade Federation never uses shields.
Yeah.
Why do they suddenly want the shields fixed? And
Right.
then he made the comment right after the captain, like, that the people weren't disposable, but the cargo, the people were disposable, the
Yes.
cargo's not. So
Yeah.
he wanted the shields up for their very new suspicious cargo.
Yeah.
And he was really worried about that. And it's just funny when you think about like years later when we see them, the shields were impenetrable when
Yeah.
they were up on Naboo. You know, the N1 starfighters couldn't hurt the droid ships.
Right.
You know, I thought that was pretty cool. It had
Yeah.
to be Anakin from the inside because
Right.
their shields were so strong.
Yeah.
So they've obviously evolved quite a bit over that time there.
Yeah. Yeah. I thought it was cool. I mean, but seeing their ships being not all that, it was kind of funny.
Yeah.
But then again, I was thinking too, like maybe they're like, if they got something that is classified, they don't want anybody to know about.
Right.
They could have just like been like, well, we got this frigate that's kind of junky.
Maybe
like,
that was.
we can haul this. Nobody's going to be like, oh, that's the Trade Federation.
Right.
And then and
Yeah.
they were being fishy, maybe, but that was a thought that popped in my head too.
Yeah,
they
maybe it
didn't
was
wanna get
purposeful.
caught. Yeah.
Yeah, I like that idea. But I think like his garb also kind of reminded me of like I don't know, like he was trying too hard. It looked like an old like Navy jacket, like
Right.
an old admiral's
Right.
like real life admiral's jacket or
Yeah.
something, you know, with
Yeah.
like the little tassels on the shoulders and stuff. I thought he was like, look at me, I'm important, but but he was not.
Right. Yeah.
I don't know. I did think it was funny. Like there's not too much. I know that a lot of times people will be pretty negative about the different pieces of the show and stuff, but there is something that's always been the case in Star Wars that always cracks me up, and this show did it too. Was like right there where the Trade Federation ship is when they have an issue where she's walking out on the thing on. They're in space on the outside of the
Right.
ship, and a fire starts.
Yeah. Right.
I'm like, oh come on! Like, what? There's a fire just in space. That's kinda
Physics
weird.
doesn't make.
No,
That
it's
doesn't
not the
have
first
any
time we've
impact.
done it. We do it in the movies.
Yeah.
We do it all the time.
Well, you
It's
have
just
like
a
ships
Star
get
Wars
shot
thing.
down and they're on fire, flaming. You know?
Yeah, in space.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It makes sense.
I know.
You know, if you think
There's
about it.
not sound either, and all that stuff. You know,
But
you
you hear
get
like explosions and all this
the
stuff.
the X-wings like they dogfight like airplanes.
Yeah.
Like that's totally like all that's wrong. But
Yeah.
I like it. I think that's part of what makes it.
Well, that's what makes
Star
Star Wars.
Yeah.
Right. I mean,
So I'm like, to me, those things they might be a little bit silly, but I kind of like them in there. I
Right.
think it's one of those things that makes it indisputably Star Wars.
yes. Yes. Very much so. One of my, I don't know why it stood out to me so much, but OSHA's droid.
Yeah,
or
Pip. Yeah,
That was cool.
he was pretty cool.
It's a handheld like tech droid.
Dude, it reminded
know?
me of the Star Trek tricorder, but times 10.
Right.
Because
Right.
like it did 15 different things.
Yeah. Well, she did a fire extinguisher.
Yeah.
A welder.
Mhm.
She had you could take his head off. which,
Yeah,
remember,
and that
she
was like
wore it
the
as a
splicer
comm.
tool on the
Right,
other
and
side.
the
She used it
splicer,
as a
yep.
comm. She zapped the little parasite thing in the mouth with it like
Yeah.
a taser.
Yeah.
It's got like a ton of different
And
capabilities.
he's only what? I mean, he's 6 inches, 8 inches tall. You
I'm
know,
like,
I mean,
"Wha-
very
where
small.
was this guy before?
Right. If everybody carried one of those, game changer. They wouldn't have to worry about
True.
nothing. You know, you wouldn't have a big clunky. Which I love astromechs, but you wouldn't have to worry about a big clunky astromech behind you. You know,
Right.
doing all this. You just right in
Right.
your pocket. You know,
What do you think about her as an actress?
OSHA.
Yeah.
She doesn't seem bad.
No.
I mean, she's. I think. I don't know. You know, if she's been in anything else or anything like that.
The only thing I had seen when I looked her up was it's actually the little girl from Hunger Games.
You're right.
I think she dies real early in other games or something like that.
I saw that she was following Katniss around.
Yeah, she was like a real friendly little girl,
Yes.
but that's her.
That's right. I actually saw that today.
Oh.
I actually saw that.
I had heard that before the show started, but I didn't know from watching the trailers and stuff that we were going to have this situation with the twins,
Right.
and that there was going to be a supposed like light side and dark side version of the same situation going on.
Right.
And I like the idea. I like where they're going. Only 2 episodes in, of course, so far, but I'm really into the mystery and what we've got going on so far. Curious where it's going to go.
Starting the mystery this early, is kind of cool too. Like it's like there was no like no 1-2 episodes of like introduce. I mean, they introduce people obviously, but like it's not slow. It was immediate. Like this is the grip. This is what we're going for. And I was like, well, that's different. Like I said, usually get 2 episodes of them messing around, playing around, doing something, and then all of a sudden it's like, bam, this is what we're really here for. Nah, they didn't even wait with Acolyte.
Right.
And I think that's cool.
I do too. I think the whole era is really neat. I like exploring the idea of like where I've come from coming into the show is that the High Republic era I know extremely little about, almost nothing, because we've got the comics out and I haven't read any of them. So like I know like some really basic knowledge as far as like time frames and like the bad guys and some of the heroes from that, but even that was taken previous to where we are in this time frame. So even people who did read those and are all up on those books and stuff, this is still new stuff that they've never heard of this girl or where we're going.
Right.
And I like that. That's the first time I can think of in a long time in Star Wars where you don't see that character and know basically everybody we've seen could survive or die, and we have no idea.
Oh, exactly.
And that's really cool to me. I like that.
So kind of the same. I haven't read the comics. I have downloaded a couple books, and stuff like that. I haven't listened to them yet. My library is full of random Star Wars stuff and just regular books, but so I'm slowly making my way down the line. But like the snippets and stuff that I've seen, and the cover art for the books and the comics and stuff, and the snippets from comics, one thing that I do really like, is the Jedi robes.
Yeah.
They match what these books were written. I don't know how long ago. The comics were written. I don't know how long ago.
Right.
But the robes that they're wearing in the show match what the comics had shown, the books had shown on the covers and stuff. So I thought that was cool. I was like, well, I'm glad that they kept that. They didn't try to tweak it or nothing, like the yellowish, white.
It's like a pure white, gold even.
It's
beautiful.
Some cases, I mean, I do like it. It's much different than what we're used to with just the
they're
basic white, black, or brown.
They're a lot more like showy, just in general.
Right.
And even not. I mean, their garb reflects that, but just how they behave and all that. I think it's cool how they're showing them because they seem a lot different to me.
Yeah.
And we've only gotten to see little snippets of it, but I'm really curious. Like, so far, they seem like everybody knows who they are. They show up, and they kind of seem like cops.
Right.
Like everybody knows they're the authority, but everybody responds to them like the randoms, like the civilians, and they're scared of the Jedi when they come in the room. They're please don't do the mind wipe thing on me or whatever.
They were afraid.
Like everybody's kind of scared of these guys. Like they've got a reputation of like no nonsense.
Well, they're
their own thing, and they laid down the law however they saw fit to do so.
I mean, that's what they did. I mean, they hadn't had a war in however long.
Right.
And they hadn't had to worry about nothing. So they were the police. They were the government. They were the high authority, and everybody knew that. And they didn't have to worry about like stepping on the toe, the wrong feet and stuff like that. I feel like because they didn't have nobody to go against them.
There's not really anybody.
Were they
bad?
To. No.
Right.
I mean, at least we don't know.
We don't see that yet.
Right. I mean, so, when we get into like episode 1, 2, and 3, everything is kind of crumbling down already at that point.
Right. We're seeing the beginnings of what set up how the council and stuff behaved later.
Yeah.
One of the things I think is interesting is they've already shown us a couple of times with the Jedi Master Soul, right? Attachments and like how that's completely forbidden by the time we're in Phantom Menace era.
Yep.
And that was a really big deal that the council was like really strict about that.
Yes.
But in this show, we've already seen, like it's been emphasized like 3 times already using the word attachments, that he even used it like towards his own Padawan when she was like, hey, how come you still got pictures basically of your old person that you still keep looking at and stuff? And like, isn't that like maybe you're a little too attached? And he was like, no, we need to remember the past because that's how we don't make the same mistakes we did before.
Right.
Which is kind of true. But also he's overlooking his own, like he is getting judgments clouded a little bit, I think.
Right.
And I think that's interesting because you're starting to see like maybe some of the reasons why they start becoming way more strict.
Right.
Where he's making personal decisions.
And I also feel like as the years went on that the Jedi became afraid of fear.
Yeah.
Afraid of like loss and
Oh
attachment.
yeah.
And that happens. I mean, obviously, like throughout
Right.
history, as you go down, like you'll start seeing the changes of what happens when you do that. So I do feel like, I mean, this is set over 100 years prior to Phantom Menace,
Yeah.
and so it's a lot changes in that time. So I feel like as the years go by, each year they're like, maybe we should not miss this person. You know what I mean? Or not
Right. Yeah. If
care
you
for them and continue caring for them as they go.
right.
Now, I'm not saying that the Jedi like lost memory of their fallen and stuff like that, Padawans, masters, whatever.
Right.
They didn't, but they didn't cling to that.
Yeah.
They ended up trying to throw that away.
Because it's
Whereas
easier
this is completely
to
different.
choose to other than dealing with that particular problem, that grief or whatever. It's easier if you just didn't have to deal with that grief to begin with.
Exactly.
And the best way to do that is to not be close to that person.
Exactly.
Right? You cut yourself off from that person, then it doesn't matter.
Well, it's so much
as
easier
much.
to cut yourself off than it is to, I guess,
let yourself be
dwell.
vulnerable.
Right.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. I agree. I think I'm a little curious, like to me, a lot of the biggest mystery right now is revolving around Soul and the 4 Jedi who were there.
Yeah.
The 4 Jedi who were targeted, and this situation with whatever happened between Osha and May, the twin, seems like this is a really big deal, and I'm really curious how the I guess the Sith, the dark side user who has the
Right.
red
Or who
saber.
we don't know yet.
I mean, my assumption is that he is using May and has information she doesn't even know. She didn't know her sister was alive,
Right.
so that's interesting.
And you
But-
heard Soul say multiple times that, like he wished he could have saved her.
Yeah.
He wanted to save her sister.
I know.
And
I'm like,
but he,
what actually happened? Because if they were 8 years old, she was evil and killed her whole family,
she
set them on
started
fire.
the fire herself.
It's a lot of that sounds like it's maybe not quite right. And then Master Torben was obviously, all of them were dealing with problems on their own.
Right.
All 4 of the people. But I think Torben was like especially guilty. He shut himself off. He was all alone and quiet in this like monk retreat kind of situation.
Right.
And then, he decided to take the poison of his own free will.
Yeah, I mean, he
You
was in
know,
a force trance for how long did they say? Like 10
10 years he hadn't talked to anybody.
And he was, when she first dropped down and tried to, fight him and assassinate him,
I-
she couldn't touch him because of that force shield.
Yeah.
That was cool too.
It
by
was
the way.
really
I really
neat.
liked that.
If you look close, you can see like her fingers, like when she punched the
Like,
thing, and
pull in.
her skin is like pushed against her
Yeah.
fingers, like it's physically on glass, even though you
Right.
couldn't see it.
I thought that
It's
was
really cool.
Never seen that before.
No, I liked it a
so
lot.
that was really nice.
Yeah.
But yeah, when he, she was like, I can give you what you want, and she put the poison on the ground,
Right.
and he immediately opened his eyes. I was like, does he know?
Oh,
Like he knows that's poison,
yeah,
right?
and-
that was the first thought in my head was like, he knows.
Yeah.
And
The other
then-
thing that's really crazy, not to cut you
You're
off,
fine,
but the Indara and him recognized May immediately.
and knew it was her.
Yeah, and knew it was her and not the other one. And I'm like, that there's some of we're gonna get that story hopefully sooner rather than later. But I'm starting to question what they did. The 4 of them did something all 4 of them are very guilty about.
I mean, and it could be the fact that they went there, and we don't know. We won't know until
Right.
we get a flashback or
Yeah.
something. I mean, they could have went there. The fire was happening, and they grabbed Osha and pulled her to safety
Right.
while May was trapped or something, and she was, probably yelling out for him, "Help me, help me, help
Yeah.
me!" And they stood there. I mean, could they have saved her? We don't know. But that would be the thing, is she's mad at the Jedi who were there, who took her sister to safety and
Right.
left her to
Well, she thinks her
die.
sister was dead.
Well, they both thought.
They both thought that, but that means May thinks the Jedi killed her sister
Right.
and the rest of her family.
Right.
May doesn't think May started the fire.
Right.
May thinks the Jedi came here and took my sister from me, and I want revenge on them.
Right.
And that is interesting because that means in her mind she's the good guy.
Right.
And I'm like, then we need to hear the rest of this story. What did they do? What happened?
Right.
And like, I know that the first thing I'm thinking is like, maybe it's a bit wild, but like, we know that the way Jedi in the future from this point will take very young kids
Yes.
into, I had always wondered before, like, but what about like when they just show up and they're like, hey, listen, your baby's force sensitive, we're going to take him from you. And he's never going to have any attachments to you, so he can never speak to you again. You just lost your kid.
Yep.
And I'm like, I was always wondering how would parents ever have been okay with that? But then we saw the Tales of the Jedi
Tales of the
TV
Jedi,
show,
yep.
and it showed Ahsoka as this baby, and they all considered it like a really big honor that, oh, she's Jedi, let's call the Jedi, let's bring them here. They
Right.
knew. The village elder was the one who said, let's, do this.
Yep.
And so then it was like, okay, I'm starting to understand. They would have done it if they considered it an honor and all this stuff, but maybe not everybody viewed it that way, and they just viewed the Jedi as coming and taking their babies.
Well, just kidnappers.
That's crazy.
There was one episode, and I don't remember what show it was on. More than likely Clone Wars, but I'm trying to think of exactly how it was. There was the mother and the father called the council, or however they did it,
Right.
and said, "Hey, my child is force sensitive."
They called that 1-800 number from our last episode.
Right, 1-800, come grab my child. And they came to come get the child, and the mother was like, "How could you do this? Why would you call them?"
Right.
I was very emotional at the fact that the Jedi were there to come take the child.
Right.
And she was mad at her husband and everything, and he was like, what do you want me to do? Like, this is what we're supposed to do. And she was very upset. So that showed, like,
not everybody's always
they're not going to
100%.
grab their kid and be like, here you go, good luck.
Yeah.
It shows them being upset. I mean,
Right.
You have a child, and I mean, and it doesn't matter if it's Star Wars universe, normal life. I mean, it
to
doesn't
ask
matter.
to give up your kid like that.
Exactly.
How could
that's tough. That was fun.
That's crazy,
Yeah.
though. I agree. So I'm kind of curious if some of that, like back then, these Jedi are walking around the galaxy like they own everything.
Yep.
And I'm like, maybe these guys were just like, nah, I don't care that you don't want, And the weird thing to me is that they chose her because from everything we've seen so far, can she even use the Force? We
Which
haven't
one?
seen her, Osha. We have not seen
Well,
her.
no,
Obviously,
because-
she did as a Padawan, or they
Right.
wouldn't have taken her and
Well,
trained
she
her
was
at least a
trained.
little bit.
Right.
We don't know why she left the Order. She says it was her decision, but Indara was apparently vocal about her leaving the Order as well.
Yes, she was. What did they say, that she was the one that like pushed,
Recommended, and then
right.
Osha interrupted, so we didn't get to hear the end of that.
Right.
But yeah, so obviously, I mean, that part's
Well,
crazy.
when they were on the prison barge, and
She
was
tried
it
to-
Pip was sliding,
Yeah.
and she was reaching. I was waiting for her to,
Right.
and pull Pip to her. She couldn't.
She
She had to
couldn't
reach
use-
to be able to grab it, and I was like, that's kind of wild. Like,
Right.
But I mean, if you don't work on, I mean,
Your training.
your training, you don't, even what little bit if you don't continue trying that, you're going to forget. It's going to leave you. The Force is going to disappear. That's how
Right.
it works. You shut yourself off from the Force, basically.
Maybe
We've
she
seen
did that
Obi-Wan do it,
subconsciously.
Luke do it.
Yeah.
But granted, they did it because they wanted to.
Right.
But she did it either because she wanted to, because she didn't want to, to live in that past, or she did it because when she left, she was just young and she didn't have enough training.
Yeah, it could be.
It's just kind of hard to tell. Another thing that I really loved was when Yord and Sol and Jackie were following May.
Okay.
And they cornered her. And they were, May and Sol just got over their big, hand-to-hand fight.
Right.
Also, the hand-to-hand fight movements, the choreography and everything,
So cool.
I love it. It's not clunky. There's a
I
lot
know.
of hand-to-hand
It's
combat
real
that we
martial
see
arts,
that is
yeah,
clunky. This
yeah,
is not.
yeah.
Like, it's very smooth. Everybody seems to know, like, exactly what they're doing. It looks real.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
This is probably one of the best choreography.
Well, we've
You get
never
what I'm
seen
saying.
them actually use like martial arts and hand-to-hand fighting before.
No.
And I think
Well,
that,
even the little bit that we have,
right,
it's not that great.
it hasn't really been quite like this.
Right.
So this is really cool. But that goes back now to the potential two things that her Sith, master, I guess I'm just going to refer to him that way because we don't really know what he is,
Right.
if he's even Sith. But the dark side user with the lightsaber, he wants her to defeat these people, these
Without a
masters,
weapon.
without a weapon. And I've got like so far two working theories on this, and then but it's the first way she starts fighting them is hand to hand, and both times that we've seen that happen with Indara and with Sol, because Torben they didn't need to fight at all.
Right.
But with those two, she goes straight into martial arts, starts doing hand to hand, starts doing kicking, whatever, and she's reaching for their lightsaber every
Yes.
time.
Yes.
And it's really interesting to me because the Jedi are being attacked by someone who's unarmed, and it's within their code. It's like within their built-in their code of honor.
Yeah.
They're not going to pull a lightsaber on somebody who's unarmed.
No.
And so it's interesting because it feels like they know that they can't win if they were to go up against him with the saber. And I'm like, okay, well, maybe that's his whole meaning to her is attack without a weapon.
You have a better chance.
And then if you separate the Jedi from the lightsaber, then you've disarmed him, and now you can probably win.
Right.
At least you have a chance to.
Better chance than them having it.
So I thought that was pretty interesting, and maybe that was his meaning. I kind of switched to that because my original thought was that this Sith was like, she's just an acolyte, she's just a trainee.
Yeah.
And her goal was to kill one of them and take their lightsaber so that they could do, like you used to tell me all the time about, I forget who it was, but one of your books where they would bleed the crystal.
Yeah.
And they took an actual Jedi's lightsaber
Yeah.
and bled
and
it to turn
the
it
crystal.
red.
Correct.
And I thought that that's probably where we were going. And that's
Right.
why he was doing that, was like he sent her on this mission. Like she hasn't earned as a Sith a lightsaber yet.
Right.
So she's to kill him. But then when Indara died, she
the
left that
lightsaber.
saber on the ground.
Yeah.
So that completely changed my mindset.
That was my whole thought too. Every time she reached for the lightsaber, I was like, that first thing in my mind was that's how her master wants her to gain her lightsaber, not to build it,
right?
To take a lightsaber off of a Jedi that she has defeated,
and then turn it red
herself.
That's what I was thinking. But then, if that was the case, she left Indara's.
That's exactly when it dropped and she turned around and walked off. I was waiting when she.
I
turned
did too.
To walk off
I
to
thought
her
she was
to
going to force it up.
Right. She never did, and
No.
so I was like, "Well, there goes that theory."
Yeah.
You know?
So now I'm like, well, then was it just a strategy to separate them, literally because
so she could have a better chance of winning?
Yeah, maybe, because she is definitely not going to win hand to hand,
against
like
a
saber to saber.
Well, no, I mean she has
She's
those
too weak.
daggers, those little throwing knives. We watch Indara cut them up in the air as they were flying towards her. She has no chance with those. You know, and
so that's an interesting way of maybe kind of protecting her as her master telling her, don't go up against them with a weapon.
Right.
Like
You're gonna die.
Yeah. Instead, try to take their weapon, and then maybe you can kill them.
Right.
But it's just weird. Like, I don't know. The master is very strange to me too. I don't know his point of what his game is.
We don't know anything about him right now. Like, I mean, we saw him at the end of episode 1 when he was standing on the rock and he was talking about like what the acolyte does, what they're for, blah blah blah. And he's like, "You killed a dream," you know, and whatever. And then he ignites his lightsaber on the rock.
Yeah.
All we saw.
That's it.
Cool way to see him, but that's all we saw.
Right.
You know, very Sithy. You know, very evil.
He talks about that the Jedi are living a dream, and that the job of an acolyte is to kill that dream.
Kill the dream. Yes.
So that's how you defeat them. Is you defeat them morally. You defeat them with their mindset.
Correct.
Like you mess with their mind
to
defeat them. Really.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, that's what the Jedi are all about: is a clear mind, a clean mind, and that's how they live. And
you're not gonna
once you soil it, well, they're done. You know, I mean, it's very hard.
Yeah. So he's also someone maybe not as strategic as Palpatine, but he's playing a longer game too, because he's thinking, well, I'm not going to just use my lightsaber as a fuel of anger like a normal Sith and just go straight head to head.
Everybody down.
He's actually thinking a little differently.
Right.
And he's thinking long game.
Yeah.
Now,
which is smart.
I think that's smart too. But it does feel a little unlike Sith. It reminds me of Palpatine. He's strategizing, playing the long game.
That's just young Palpatine.
That would be so annoying.
I
know.
Somehow Palpatine came.
Somehow Palpatine returned back to the future
Past.
again.
Wait.
Second.
He
hit
drove
88
a
miles an hour in a DeLorean. I love it.
So, but we got way off.
I know.
With May, Sol, Yord, and Jackie in the courtyard, when she like the ship was hovering and she saw the dirt as it was kind of moving around, and she got the idea of like, I'm gonna force punch this, and I'm going to create a smoke cloud, you know, ninja dust, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
So she punched it. That was cool. It was a very good way to do it. But the detail, like when the dust was moving around and we saw Sol,
all of them dusty.
They were dusty. Sol's long hair was all brown looking, you know. I was like, oh, I'm so glad that they did that. Yeah, right. I was really happy about that. He's sitting there like trying to pat the dust away. At that point I was like, I don't know, we saw once again a Jedi or a Sith in one of the shows before, kind of that same thing, and they used the Force and the cloud went away. I was like, and they might have done that. It might have dissipated faster. I'm not sure.
Right.
But when he was just like waving the dust away, and I'm like, use the Force, blow that stuff out. But he never did. I was like, that's kind of funny. But
Right. Yeah. I think one of the last thing I wanted to ask you was the comments that the two girls had when they start having Osha's having like flashbacks of them being younger and stuff, and they start singing that little chant that they had made for themselves.
Yeah, and May's like, oh, you
remember. We're two as one. We were born as one, but or we are one together, but we were born as two. Something along those lines. Blah blah blah. It really feels kind of like this is the better of what could be the Force dyad, like Kylo and Rey were.
Right.
And I'm kind of wondering if along those lines, that if they really are two sides of the same thing, maybe that's why she hasn't been able to use the Force.
That's possible.
Because at the same time, the other girl is starting to learn how to use the Force. And so as one, they're out of balance.
Right. Kind of draining the other.
Only one could be active at a time or something along those lines.
Right.
I'm real curious where they go with that, but it feels very intentional that the two girls have now seen each other.
Right.
And, I'm real curious where we're going with that. So far, you're way too early rating on the show, but based off of only the first 2 episodes, things could change. But along the lines of the rest of the Star Wars shows, where would you think you'd put this one?
As of right now, I do think that it is too early. I mean, it's definitely going to be, in my opinion, going to be up there. Like I said, graphical, the choreography, and everything I enjoy. I think it's great. Top 4 as of right now. I would say. I mean, granted, we only have like 6 shows out. It beats the Book of Boba Fett.
That one is the lowest on my personal list.
It had potential.
I like some things
which
in
we'll
it,
go
but
into it, later on. But
that one's the lowest on my
unfortunate. Yeah. Boba was my favorite bounty hunter as a kid, and even now I still love Boba. But
I didn't need to see all that.
It was tough.
All
that. All of it.
All that.
But I think honestly it's going to rank top 4, and I mean that could change. It could go higher. It could drop.
That's true.
It just depends on how the next episodes go.
I think I'm right at the same spot with you. I'm probably 3 or 4 for the top, depending on how it ends up going and what the payoffs are like in the story.
Right.
But regardless, I think seeing this new era is really exciting. They can do anything they want. We've got Jedi everywhere. Those are things that we've been asking from the Star Wars franchise for a long time.
Well, we've had Jedi in episode 1, 2, and 3 that we saw. We didn't see a bunch of them active at one time until Attack of the Clones, and we saw the Geonosis War breakout. There was Jedi everywhere.
Right.
Episode 3, there were Jedi running around, and we saw different ones fight. We saw them, unfortunately die, and everything, and it was cool. And then after that, we were done.
Yeah.
And so the whole, all the fan base, a lot of the fan base was like, we want more Jedi.
Yeah.
And they brought it. This is where we're going to see it. I mean, the trailer shows 8 different Jedi of, Master's Knight and Padawans going to hunt down this one Sith. And so we're finally there. We have it again.
Yeah.
How it's going to turn out, we'll see.
Yeah.
It could be great, or it could drop. It could flop it. But I have high hopes. I have high hopes for every show that comes out. I don't ever really make my final decision until at the end, and then I kind of pile it all together.
That's fair. That's fair.
When Yord was in the ship, real quick.
Yeah.
And Jackie and Soul came in. He was
shirtless.
He was like ironing his shirt with it looked like a pot of coffee. That was very much Kylo Ren vibes for me.
I like that Jackie and him have had enough interactions that when Soul told her that he's like, I'm getting one more person as backup, and she's like, is it Yord?
He's like, what's wrong with Yord?
She's like, nothing. He's just him.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
And then the first thing you see right away, she's
shirtless,
like,
right.
Put your
clothes
on. Like, this has happened before, hasn't it?
100. They've seen it before, guaranteed. It's not the first time. Yeah, I feel like he's just the shirtless dude.
Mm-hmm.
Good for him.
Yeah. Is he the Chad? He's the
Chad, right?
He's
the Ken doll of
Chad?
the Star Wars.
Oh god. I like the logo for Acolyte, the little O. I was saying, I think now I see, when we were doing the trailers, I didn't understand it, but I didn't know there was a twin, and I saw that there was like,
the split.
I thought it was going to be a ring or an eclipse, and I didn't understand. I was like, what is that? But now I see it as like it's cut in half, and you've got 2 different sides. Yeah. One has like a slight blue, and one has a slight red. Yep. I think it's the twins, and it's the two different sides of the same coin. Right. And I love that.
It's kind of a cool way to do that. Imagery. If that's what they did it for, that's a really cool way to do it.
I think that's really cool. And the trailers were pretty misleading. I thought Indara was going to be in this a lot more. and I thought that the twin or situation didn't even exist.
No, well,
so
they never showed
they
it
really
that
got
way.
me. They got me.
Yeah, and
I like that.
We won't know until later, but Soul, I thought he was going to be the Grandmaster just based off
I did too.
of the just based off of the thing, but
Right. Also, stinking. What's her face? The what's her name? Vespara. I already
Are you
forgot
talking
her
about
name.
the
green
green?
girl. Yeah,
I
Vesperanza.
Yeah,
Oh no.
Esperanza.
I should have. I can't remember what her name was,
I
but it's
can't
something
either.
along those lines.
Well,
But
she's
anyway,
in the comics anyway.
she
before, I think.
she's really old at this point, way older than I
Well,
expected.
she
She
said
to Soul, she's like, I remember when you were that age.
Yes.
And I mean, she's got to be like 150 or whatever.
Well, Soul's what? Probably 50. I would say.
But she was in.
And she was
that's
like,
a
I
character
remember
who
when
was
you were
in
that age.
the last stuff, which is incredible, like
Mm-hmm.
in the comics or whatever, and a short novel or whatever.
Yeah.
But she's the same race as Luminara and Barris.
Really?
And her tattoos, instead of being on her face, are on her scalp. Right? She's got the little diamond things.
What's the race?
We just went
You're
over
close.
it. Marilyn or something.
Marilukin.
Yeah,
I
something.
think, right?
I don't remember.
Now I feel like I just jinxed myself.
Yeah, I think I called them Marilukin.
Planet Mariel.
Yeah,
planet.
so they're like
it's
Marilyn, something.
I think.
Yeah.
But
But it's so funny because we were just talking about Luminara and Barris,
and then we get her.
But the weird thing is, if they get that old, so now the thing with Barris looking that old is
Why?
even more weird to me. So I came up with this new headcanon. She's been force healing.
Who?
Barris, while she was there, right?
Oh, and like draining her life into others.
Yeah, man.
That's a
Maybe
good
that's
idea.
actually
Yeah.
physically way more draining on you. And so, like, that actually is why she looks like that. It's literally killing her.
And if
to heal
anybody's
other
wondering,
people.
we're talking about Tales of the Empire right now about Barris.
and our
Not to
first
confuse
episode,
anybody.
Yeah, the last episode. But I guess we'll have a lot more Acolyte to be talking about down the road, hopefully for a long time. But we went a little over on this part here because we're excited about Acolyte.
That's all right. There's a lot to
And,
talk about. We had 2 episodes come out. It's a lot to go over.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
granted, there's a lot of stuff that we didn't talk about.
Yep.
But I have high hopes. Like I said, I'm not gonna make a final judgment until the end. So I'm hoping it stays good, and I hope it really just kind of blows my mind, with everything. So
yeah, I think so too. I'm hopeful. Always hopeful that they'll be good, and we'll hope it keeps going. But,
yeah.
All right. Well, we'll take a short break, and then we'll jump into a game when we come right back.
Cool.
All right, we are back with a game called Unquotable Quotes. So these are going to be fairly random quotes from anywhere in these 11 Star Wars movies. So episodes 1 through 9, Solo, and Rogue One. We have multiple rounds with points increasing per round, and we'll have a special bonus round at the end, but we'll talk about that when we get there. So when I show you the quote, you guys will buzz in, whichever of you thinks you have it. You have 1 possible point for who said it, and 1 possible point for what movie it appeared in. If neither of you can get any part of the quote, we'll talk about a hint. Any questions before we get started?
I think we're good.
I don't think so.
For the people who are listening or watching, our buzzers, we changed them from our voice, and we're going to try these little droids that we have.
Go
I
ahead.
have R2.
Hit your
Sean
buzzer.
has Chopper. So this is R2.
It's great.
I love it.
All right, so I'm not sure how much of that's going to come through,
I hope
but
it
we'll
comes
be
through a
able to
little
know
bit, so yeah.
on our side who's buzzing in first.
All right, so we've got round 1. Again, this is 1 point for each element of the quote. Get your buzzers ready. I'm not sure what all this trouble is about, but it must be your fault.
That was you.
Ooh,
Yeah,
I
was
think
it
you
me?
got it, yeah.
This is C-3PO.
All right, and what movie?
I think it is A New Hope, episode 4.
Oh, you got both elements.
Good job.
Good job. It's so I think maybe Jordan's not going to stay on a winning streak. We'll see how
I
this
feel
goes.
Oh,
like
I
you're
mean, he
gonna
knew
have
it
the
just as
quotes.
fast as I did, though.
Look at
Oh, look at that. That's really cool.
Yeah,
All
for those
right.
of you who are just listening to the podcast, you can't see it, but we have screenshots of the movies.
Also, selfish plug, there is full edited videos available on our YouTube channel, YouTube/Cantina Chat Podcast.
If you want to see all the screenshots.
You can play along with us.
All right, get their weapons. Jordan?
I shouldn't have done that. I just had a... Oh, it was... Captain Panaka from Episode
Ooh.
1, Phantom Menace.
So it is Episode 1, The Phantom Menace. I will show you the screenshot in case I am wrong about who this is.
You know what?
Um,
Yeah, Captain Panaka. Or
Yeah,
I put
Typho was in.
Typho is
Attack of the
who
Clones, right?
I
Typho's
put.
the other one.
Yeah.
It's Panaka. He's right.
He's right. Okay. Then pretend I didn't write down Captain Typho on that.
Typho's the one later.
Yes.
Okay.
He's the Senate.
Captain
He's a
Typho.
Senate guard, not a Queen's guard.
Okay. All right. So good job. What about the droid?
That accurately portrayed
Yeah, I was gonna say,
what's going on in
We
my
got
brain.
Sean with a very unconfident buzz.
I'm gonna say this was Kylo Ren. And I'm gonna say this was Episode 7.
Well, you are right about Episode 7.
Then I should have went with my first guess.
Do you wanna try for who said it?
Oh. What about the droid?
You should know a lot. You've got a lot in common with who said it.
Oh, don't be mean.
Do I?
What's the thing I make fun of you about the most?
Oh, you're asking me questions. On the
You
spot,
ginger buddy, you.
Ginger buddy.
Yeah.
Oh, are we talking about
Well, I could be
I
wrong.
don't know if that's him.
I
Though.
could be wrong.
You are wrong.
Oh, I'm wrong.
Is it Finn?
No.
I thought it was Hux.
That's I don't remember him ever saying it.
Unkar Plut.
Okay, well, maybe more than one person said it.
So
Oh,
when-
that was that the quarter rations guy.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
when
yeah.
Sean was like, you
Fat
have a lot
guy.
in common with him, I'm like, why did you say that?
That's so mean. You just called him
That's
really
funny.
fat.
That's
No,
great.
no, no. That's
Oh, my goodness.
Simon Pegg.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really?
Oh, so he is a ginger? Is that who you were going for?
No.
No, he was going for
Ginger.
Hux.
No, I thought it was Hux.
Admiral
Okay.
Hux.
Yeah, I thought Hux was. I could have shown it, but whatever. What's our next one?
Oh yeah, I remember because she brought the scrap and BB-8 was with her. And
He's
he
like
was-
quarter rations, but what about the droid?
Right, he was like one ridiculous amount of rations for the droid, and she
Yeah.
almost did it.
All right. It was never about you.
That sounds like a. Is that Kylo Ren from? Oh my goodness, Episode 8.
Nope. Wrong on the movie and the person.
Should I throw out a guess before we get to like a hint?
Yeah, you can. You might as
Yeah,
well
I forgot
try.
about that.
I don't really know how they work yet, so that's why I was asking.
Right.
Okay. I just wanted to
Go
get
ahead.
Chopper. It was never about you. Is your guess is what I was going to say. I'm going to say this was also in the sequel trilogy.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't know who it is, so I'm gonna say Finn. I'm gonna say Episode 8.
No.
No, you said Episode 8, and I already knew
did.
it wasn't.
So yeah, so wrong on both of those. So we're gonna talk about a hint.
That. Okay.
So you guys can choose. You have to choose together. You have to agree. Do you want to know who said it or what movie it is in for a chance to get 1 point for whatever element
So
of the
we'll have to
quote?
guess the
I
other
think
one.
who
though.
said it is.
And then we
probably
guess the
best.
movie.
Yeah.
So then.
Yeah, and I realize as I say that this will 100% give it away for this particular one because this person was only in one movie. So, all right. So the person who said it was Tobias Beckett. Go ahead, Sean.
Oh.
Uh,
Oh my goodness! It was right at the
It's
end.
never about you. He says that to the girl. Easy, Chopper. We already got the point. Calm down.
Well, you haven't guessed yet.
Solo, the movie that I couldn't say last episode.
Yeah.
I was waiting to see if you.
What's
remember
the Han movie
it.
with
He was
Han?
talking to Han Solo.
He was
by the way.
talking to Han Solo, but he was talking about her.
Yeah, it was after they
Yeah.
got. He was like leaving or whatever. Han was
Yeah,
gonna hold him
yeah,
up,
yeah.
and he was like, "It was never about you. She
Yeah.
was doing this for
Yeah, her own
whatever."
gain,
Yeah.
basically. Okay. So Sean gets 1 point for that.
It's funny that we like don't know and then we see it or
And then
whatever,
it
immediately
completely jogs the entire
yeah.
memory.
Mm-hmm. All right. Next quote: "The Republic cannot praise you enough." Go ahead, Sean.
Bail Organa in Episode 1.
It's Bail Organa. Go ahead, Jordan.
Episode 3.
Yes. So Bail Organa in Episode 3. So you each get 1 point for that.
Was he in
I'm happy
episode
splitting
one?
that point.
Yeah.
Oh, right, when he got back from taking down saving Palpatine when Obi-Wan and Anakin got back, landed on Coruscant, and he was him and Anakin were like walking back behind the pack before Anakin ran off to Padme.
Yeah.
All right, good job, you guys. All right, so we're moving into round 2. So the format is the same. It's just now 2 points for each element of the quote.
Whoa.
So a little higher stakes.
Higher stakes.
I love steak.
How do you like your steak?
Medium rare.
Any way I can get it.
Honestly, well, not like I don't want dark like dark. That's gross. I'm a big medium rare guy.
All right, fair enough.
You know.
What if it's bantha meat?
It's a chance for you to make a fresh start. Go ahead, Sean.
Poe Dameron from episode 7.
No, sir.
Oof. It's a chance for you to make a fresh start.
Go ahead.
Han Solo from Solo?
Nope.
No. Okay. Oh, we get a hint though.
Yeah, so you guys can get a hint. Who do you want to know who said it or what movie it was in?
You want to try it hard and just go for what movie?
Find out the movie?
Yeah.
Let's find out the movie.
Rogue One.
Oh! It was a Cassian Andor?
Nope.
Now I think I know exactly what it was.
Chance for you to make a fresh start. I'm gonna guess it was K2SO who said it.
Nope.
It's when they're inducting
Mon Mothma says it to what's her face?
Yeah,
Yes.
it's either I was thinking either her or the other guy, the guy that was kind of rude to the whole thing. But it was when they were getting her to join.
Yeah. Rebellions are built on hope. That's pretty good.
That was good.
That was so good. I almost thought she was in the room.
Wow.
She's not.
Don't move, Jedi. Sean?
B1 battle droid?
Nope. You didn't guess a movie.
Dang it. Episode 2.
Actually, yes, this was episode 2.
Oh, Jango Fett.
Yes.
It was to Anakin when they got him on the belt.
Yep. In the factory there.
Yeah.
All right, so good job. Each of you got a point for that.
I thought he was in the room just now.
That's what I said tomorrow.
Now we take the war to them.
Oof.
Go ahead, Jordan.
Poe Dameron, episode 9.
It is episode 9, so you get 2 points for that. But not Poe.
Ooh, maybe. Probably not. Maybe.
Go ahead, Sean.
Is it like episode 9? So
Episode 9 is the movie.
Is it Leia?
Nope. So this we're not gonna do a hint because obviously
We know episode 9.
Can I just try to guess? You don't
Sure,
know
sure.
points.
Yeah.
Was it Lando?
Mm-mm.
Dang.
It was actually Finn.
Really?
Yep.
How many times did you watch episode 9? Just a question.
Episode 9 is the last one.
Yep.
So I watched it in the theaters only,
Same.
and that was it.
Yep.
And
Okay.
then even though at the time I was like disrespectful and I was upset about it, I was like, I'm gonna watch this later, and I bought the highest 4K Blu-ray, whatever. Left it in the wrapping at my house. Couldn't ever put it in.
Really?
It's time.
I need
It's
to
time.
watch it.
It's
I
time.
need to watch. I watched episode 7 like 5 times. We talked about this.
Yeah,
on the
same.
last
I
pod.
also
Like
watched
5
a bunch.
times, and then the last 2 I only watched one apiece.
Yeah,
So
I at the time was so grumpy about everything that I just didn't end up watching
yeah,
them that
yeah,
much.
me too.
The knife that somehow matches the debris on all
To
that.
find the throne
I
room.
was so angry about that it sent me over the edge. Like
Yeah.
there was all these other things that I didn't like, but that
Right.
sent me over the edge.
I
And I
agree.
was like, I ain't never
I
watching
agree.
this movie again. But then immediately I was like, I'm gonna buy it.
Well, it's Star Wars.
I have
you
to.
know.
This is the way.
This is the way.
Okay.
I think we
Alright.
could have been in Mandalorian.
Make yourself comfortable. My master will be with you shortly. Go ahead, Sean.
Make yourself comfortable. I'll with you shortly. This was. Shoot, I had it in my mind. I'm sorry. I probably shouldn't have buzzed. I'm gonna say the protocol droid that I don't know its name from episode 1.
Yeah, you're right.
The
so
silver female one with the tray. who talks to Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan.
Yep.
I'm gonna go ahead and give you the points. Yeah,
Send the
she's technically
droids.
TC-14,
Okay.
TC-14.
but yeah, you're right. Okay, good job. All wings report in. Jordan?
Red leader. Oh wait, no. Well, it doesn't matter. I already.
It's not even a name.
Yeah.
What do you mean? Oh, the name was Akbar.
Not Akbar, no, but you could try to guess the movie.
Well, it could be 4. New Hope.
Nope.
I'm gonna say it is episode 5. Oh,
It's probably
I'm gonna
sequels
say
now.
it was Lando then.
It is Lando, but it was episode 6.
I feel like there's a lot of people that said all wings report in.
Probably. I thought that it was Wedge in the first Death Star run, but this is the second Death
Well,
Star.
yeah, like Red Leader did the same thing, right?
I mean, he
'Cause
had
they started
them
calling off
report
red-
in,
yeah,
but
the
I don't
red
know
numbers.
what exactly he said when he said. I thought he said all wings report in.
Right.
And they said Red 5 standing by.
Yeah, right,
And then
right.
you're like, oh, that guy's fat. Who's that? Oh, it's
Big
Porky.
Red standing by.
Yeah, the Red Fox standing by. Grumman Elizabeth.
All right, so we are moving into round 3. Same format, but we've got 3 points for each element of the quote now, so higher stakes. We've got Jordan at 7 points, and we've got Sean at 13.
Oh,
Wow,
buddy.
dude, you're whooping me.
Wow.
All right.
I feel better now.
Good.
What can we?
Can you say the thing to him that you said to me last episode? That
You're
made
not
me...
catching up, but you're doing better.
I see how it made you feel.
Yeah.
I'm sorry I did that to you.
Yeah.
I need that on a t-shirt. You're not doing better, but
You're pretty bad at this, but
Well,
You
you're
got
doing
some
all
points
right,
now.
but you're not doing great.
all right, here we go. We need to shake them before we can find a new base. So what's our plan? Go ahead, Jordan.
Poe Dameron, episode 8.
Yes, Poe Dameron, and that is episode 8. He says that to Admiral Holdo, or Vice Admiral Holdo, based on my research. Yeah. So Jordan gets 6 points for that.
And now we are tied, right?
Yeah, actually, we're 13-13, so high stakes.
time makes no sense in Star Wars. This entire movie takes place with this ship running from another ship. And they leave this ship and they go to another planet and they're there for like 2 days and this ship is still being chased by the other ship.
Well.
Anyway, what's the next...
Are we blind? Deploy the garrison. Go ahead, Sean.
This was General Hux, and this was on... This was 8... No, 7. This was 7.
No, sorry. Wrong on both accounts.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Oh,
my goodness.
duh?
You said duh, and my brain went white. It was Rogue One, but it is Krennic.
Yes.
Good job. You're right. I heard his voice, and for some reason I thought Hux, but yeah, it is absolutely...
It was when
Are we blind?
Yeah, right. All the explosions were happening.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's where we see Shore Troopers
Yeah.
for the first time.
Oh, dude, it was awesome. And Death Troopers.
Oh, yeah, there we go.
Well, not for the first time, but the Death Troopers fighting at least for the first time. So that was pretty cool.
Good job. All right. Blast the door, kid. Go ahead, Jordan.
Han Solo, Episode 4.
Yes.
These points are worth how much?
Uh-oh.
He's coming back, ladies
Yes.
and gentlemen. He's coming
So
back.
6 total points possible for each quote.
We're tied, and then I got the other one right.
So, sorry, I keep forgetting to move forward on our screens.
Ooh.
Blast the door, kid.
Yeah, this was right after Darth Vader.
God, I just watched you die. How are you talking to me right now? Who
Darth
said
Vader
that?
touched Obi-Wan Kenobi with his saber, and Obi-Wan poofed away. And Luke cries out, "Ben!" And the stormtroopers start shooting. And Han Solo's like, "Blast the door, kid!"
He shouted out, "No!" And that's...
Oh, okay.
This is where the couch got stuck in the Millennium Falcon.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
In the Family Guy special.
Oh, he killed him too fast. Yeah, kill him slower.
Hmm.
Oh, no.
Go ahead, Sean.
I'm going to guess these are B1 droids communicating to each other. And
Oh no.
Because of that, I'm just gonna guess episode 2. I don't know what this is.
Nope, on both accounts. You want to try it, Jordan, or do you guys want a hint?
Can we get a hint, please?
Okay, so would you rather know who said it or what movie?
I kind of like the hardest. Let's do the what movie?
Solo.
Okay, I was just kidding. Can we go back?
No.
So they said in Solo, they said, "Oh, you killed him too fast." Yeah, kill him slower. It was in Solo that this was said. It wasn't those little guys that were in. They weren't in Solo. The little mechanic dudes, those itty bitty little dudes. They
No,
were
those
in
were
like
in
the
Mando
sequel
and
trilogy.
you
Episode
talking
9.
about the little tiny guys? Yeah, they were in Mandalorian and the
Episode
sequels.
9, yeah. You killed him too fast. Yeah, kill him slower. Sounds like something you'd say.
Any guesses?
Oh,
You might as well guess something.
oh my goodness. Oh, the stormtroopers when they threw Han into the into Chewie's pit.
You're right. That's what it was.
Technically,
Yeah.
they're Death Troopers. I couldn't find that they had a name, so let us know in the comments if I'm wrong about that. But just, yeah, unnamed Death Troopers. They're looking down at Han and Chewie's fake fight, and they thought Han Solo was dead, but Chewie killed him too fast. So I'm going to go ahead and give you 3 points for that. So good job on that. All right, so we've got one more quote in this round. Sean has fallen behind dramatically.
Oh, I wasn't as
You
happy.
can't park that shuttle here. Go ahead, Sean.
This was an unnamed Cantina guest outside talking to Anakin when he's chasing Zam Wessel in episode 2.
Oh, that's a good guess, but no.
It's a unnamed person in Tatooine when Luke and Ben pull up to the cantina.
Nope. That's also a good guess, though, but no on both
Ooh.
of those.
Then I guess we should keep in line with the same hint and
Yeah,
get
just do
the
the
name of
movie.
the movie.
This is in The Last Jedi, episode 8.
And now I wish we didn't do it that way.
Well, episode 8.
This person does have a name, but if you can at least describe, yeah, I'll probably give you the points for it, because you might not know the actual name, but they do have a name. Go ahead, Sean.
Is it the guy who was helping them that everybody thought was going to be Ezra, but it wasn't Ezra?
No.
Okay. The guy who helped them go undercover?
No, not Ezra or anybody like that.
No, it's not Ezra, but you know who I'm talking about.
I forgot.
I was guessing the older guy that when the movie was coming out, everybody was thinking it might be Ezra.
Oh.
But
yeah.
he helps them infiltrate in Canto Bight.
Can't park that shuttle here. I'm not sure. I'm
No,
gonna have to pass.
that's not the person.
Okay.
I'm gonna have to pass.
Okay. So his name is Slow and Low, I believe played by Joseph Gordon-Levitt. He's the one who reports the shuttle to the Canto Bight police.
Okay. I do remember the scene.
Mm-hmm.
Huh.
Okay. So no points for that one. So good job, though, overall. We've got Jordan with 28 points, and we've got Sean still with 13.
I got none in the last
Yeah,
round.
got none.
Go ahead and say the thing.
You are not catching up.
Oh.
But I can't even say you're doing better because you're now doing worse. But
Okay. Well, you know.
we have one final round. So actually, never mind. Sean can't win even with this. But
Well, let's hear it though.
you can wager up to 100% of your points, just like with Final Jeopardy. So
I guess I will.
before you hear the quote, you're gonna go ahead and make your wager.
That's weird. He is waging 100% of his points too.
That's funny. I'm only going to do 3%. No, I'm just kidding. I'll do 100%.
Okay, so you're both doing 100%. So this is gonna be all or nothing.
Winner take all.
Sure, buddy.
All
right.
There we go.
So, final round. This quote could be from any Star Wars movie or TV show. No hints. I am going to say, just to give you both equal chances so that no one's trying to buzz in first, go ahead and send me your answers. So, I'll give you some time to think about the quote. So that no buzzing in on this round, just go ahead and send me. I'll give you a minute to think about it. But the quote is, there doesn't appear to be anything wrong with you.
What you doing on Google over there, buddy?
Yeah, we're on our system.
There's not a
There
mirror.
doesn't appear to be anything wrong with you. But we're still the same format, I'm guessing, the person and the movie?
Yeah. Okay, Sean has sent me his guess. Give Jordan a couple more minutes if he needs it.
And Sean was correct, so you better bring your A game. I actually wrote this line.
I don't know.
I submitted it to them as a fan-written
This
line.
is you.
No, just make a guess.
I did. I sent it to you.
Oh, okay. I see it now. Okay. Well, I'm not sure I'll be able to pick either one of you. I guess we'll talk about it. We'll talk about it. Neither of you are even close.
Well, what were our choices? Or what were our?
So Sean guessed Ray in episode 7.
I thought she might have been saying that to BB-8 at some point, like when she was like fixing his old antenna or something. She's like, there's nothing.
That's a good guess. And Jordan said medical droid in episode 9.
He's like, you say fine to me.
I'm just throwing it out there.
You don't need this back to tank. Get out of here.
Okay, so
Tell us the movie, and then we'll see if we can just
it's not a movie.
Oh,
It's a show.
It's a show.
Well, tell, what's it from?
Tales of the Empire.
Tales of the Empire. There doesn't appear to be anything wrong with you.
We've got Barris for the win again. For
Old
my personal
Barris.
win.
I hate old Barris. There's something about old
They bring
Barris
the
that I
bear,
can't
the baby,
stand.
and they tell her.
She's made me lose 2 games.
You're right. That was really good, and that's fresh too.
Yeah, that's why I was like, I was on the fence about doing this, but I thought it would be funny to have Barris as the final answer again.
That's great. Good job. That's awesome.
Oh, man.
Now,
So-
at any time we ever play any games, I'm
Barris
guessing
is
Barris.
always going to be one of our guesses.
That's really good. Good job.
Yes,
Good
thank
job.
you, thank you. I don't think either of you are. We're both so far away.
No, none of us get. We're both at 0.
But
Yeah.
you took the game.
Yeah, I
You
think
took the game.
overall.
You beat me. You swept me.
It was only because of that last little bit, though. I was
That
getting good.
round
Round
3,
three
you
did
killed
well.
round 3.
Yeah.
Let's hear R2 sound off for the victory. Yeah, that's his victory cry. I love it so much.
Good job, producer.
All
Good job,
right.
Savvy.
Thank you so much for helping
That
us
was
through
awesome.
that.
Thank you, guys.
We'll take another quick short break, and then we'll jump back into the last part of
Awesome.
our show. All right, welcome back to the last part of our show today. We're going to be doing a Geonosian Arena draft, where this time we are going to be taking named droids as the category. So basically any droids that are going to be unique, and it's as long as it's a droid that's not like a type of droid that appeared in an army, right? So no like B1s or B2s.
Correct.
No battle
Commando
droids.
droids, anything like that. Nothing
Yeah.
from like the separatist side of droids.
Sure.
Is what we're really trying to stay away from on this.
Yeah, and idea on that mostly being that, you know, we'll have further drafts down the road. But
Yeah.
for this one, we're going to be picking that. And you want to go ahead and roll a chance cube and see which one of us is going to be drafting first
for
there,
sure.
buddy?
Let's
You
see.
want to stick with red like it worked real good for you last week?
Yeah,
or
well, no,
yeah?
I'll switch to blue.
Ooh.
To see just how well the force is with me here.
I like it.
You ready?
I'm ready.
And that's what happens.
He's cheating. He picked blue again. All right. Well, you get the first overall pick
All right.
in our draft. So we're
Do you
gonna
think I
see-
could challenge Master Yoda as a swordsman, or
Probably.
okay? Cool.
Yeah. I
All right.
mean, you got the height advantage. You
No,
got
well,
that- you got that going
everybody
for you.
had height advantage,
Yeah, that's true.
even the younglings.
Yeah. Also, if you talked like really fast, maybe it would confuse him. Like, do you think he
He
hears
would
things?
talk normal if I did that.
He would talk normal if you talked.
Wait a minute.
Has anybody ever talked backwards to him?
I don't think they know how.
Oh.
It would hurt me. I try to do it sometimes.
Maybe
just
he
playing
doesn't
around.
know he's doing it. Somebody else does it to them, and he's like,
Don't
"Stupid
forget,
you are."
episode
Like,
2, he said, I don't remember what he said, but something about attacking the ships or concentrate all fire on the.
yeah,
you
yeah,
know what
yeah.
I mean?
He says it totally normal.
And the clone's
Yeah,
like, Did you just talk right? That's crazy.
Fire shoot ship, concentrate. It's not good anymore.
It's not good in war. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead. I'll start. So let's see. The first one I'm gonna go with. If it falls in line, if not, we can take it out. But it's called a Basilisk War Droid. It was used by
Mandalorians used them in
Mandalorians.
Legends and stuff. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
For people that don't know, it's a 4-legged droid, kind of like almost reminds me kind of like a dog droid, and they are covered in blasters and everything. It's in armor, very versatile as well as very powerful.
Yeah, and they used them with great effect when they would like orbit drop ship in, right? They
Yeah.
would use these droids to come from like ships, and they would just like
They would
plummet
drop them
into the
down.
middle
Yep.
of a war zone or whatever.
Yep.
Yeah, they terrifying, absolutely terrifying.
You're right. It's definitely the droid that I would want though, right behind me.
Yeah.
Well, more like in front of me.
Yeah,
I feel like.
in this thing. Okay, that's a pretty awesome choice. I like it. And in this battle where we're fighting each other, I think that's pretty good.
Right.
Yep.
Is that good though? Does that fall in the line?
I think so.
Okay.
I think so. It's not like a full-on like army,
Right.
infantry unit.
Okay.
So I'm okay with it. I am gonna go with one for my first pick that will also be Legends.
Okay.
I'm going with HK-47.
Nice.
HK-47 is the kind of like bronze-colored droid who's bipedal, stands on 2 legs, but he's the one that Revan built, and he was in the Knights of the Old Republic. He was
Right.
in both of the games as a companion that you could recruit, and he was super rude and super sarcastic, and it was great.
Right.
He called humans fleshy meat bags,
Yes.
and he always had a quip to shut people down, and it was so funny. But he also was great with combat. He carried around a rifle, and he was an assassin droid by design.
Right.
So like he could get it, and he was great.
That's pretty cool. I like that.
So.
I honestly didn't even think about that. So that's really good. Good job. Okay. So my next one, it's another one. Well, it's Legends and Canon. So I guess you can kind of go either way, but they're called Hutt War Droids.
Droids?
They
Okay.
were droids that were used by the ancient Hutts that had 2 light repeating blaster rifles, as well as fragmentation grenade launcher with 4 grenades loaded. And they had armor and deflector shields.
Okay. And did they used to like use them to like subjugate planets or something like that, or what was
It
kind
was
of their
more or less of like, well, one, like heavy security,
Oh,
as
okay.
well as
to guard their nefarious
Right.
drug dealings and whatever
Yes,
they're doing, spice
and,
running.
I mean, they would use them if they, well, security as well as like
Enforcers,
like turf
they might-
war type deal, yeah, enforcers, stuff
Okay.
like that. They were pretty heavy. So
That's pretty cool. That's neat. All right. That's great. I think my next choice is gonna go for IG-88.
okay,
That is obviously a lot of people know IG-88. He's the bounty hunter
Yep.
that appeared in Empire Strikes Back. He's all black, and he's got like pulse rifles. Like his arm is like a sniper rifle
yeah,
that another troop might use, like from the Empire. But he's just got those on his arms like regular guns, basically. And in Legends, he does some pretty crazy things with Luke, like down the road, like
Yeah.
they fight each other and stuff. But I know in the movies and stuff, you see so little of him. But he's pretty cool. He's got his own spaceship. He's got some stuff going for him. And I think in a fight against a bunch of other droids, he might do pretty well. So.
okay, yeah, very good. Okay, my next one is actually, I don't know, I like him. I don't remember his name, but the loader droid from Kenobi.
He's on my list.
Is he really?
Yeah, he's on my
Okay,
list. His name is Ned B.
Ned B?
Yeah,
Okay,
Ned
all
B.
right,
And I
cool.
put in parentheses Kenobi loader droid.
That's exactly. I have it. Loader droid. Parentheses Kenobi.
I love it. I love it. Yeah, dude, he was pretty cool, man.
Yeah.
He stood up for what was right. He doesn't talk. He's like one
Not
of the
at
only
all.
droids that doesn't talk.
Yeah. Well, I think none of the loader droids talk. I think
I
was
guess.
the thing. I'm not sure.
I mean, they must have something because C-3PO said that was his primary function. Remember, was like
Right.
communicating with his like original design function or whatever.
Yeah.
Was it C-3PO or somebody else?
Well, C-3PO got didn't they? C-3PO did encounter loader droids before, I think.
I guess.
And Kenobi, no, because Kenobi
not
wasn't.
not in.
But I do think it was C-3PO that had. I'm trying to think of what it was. Was it?
Yeah,
Was it that Rebels?
He said
episode?
something about. Oh, it was because Han Solo told C-3PO, "Can you talk to the Falcon?" And he's like, "Oh, I used to talk to loader droids." Or something
Right.
Like that.
Yeah.
It was like my primary function.
Right.
Something along those lines. I don't know. I'm bad with
You're
quotes,
fine. You're doing good.
as you can tell, since you just beat me in a
No.
quote game.
I never.
I'm upset. You're 2-0 in our games.
I'm so good at first.
So I don't need sympathy. Or we don't need sympathy from the producer corner.
What do we got? We got 2 more.
So you've got Basilisk Droid, which is tough for me to say. Hutt War Droid.
Yep.
Ned B, the Kenobi Loader Droid.
Yep.
So far, I have HK-47 and IG-88, the Bounty Hunter. My next choice Um, I'm gonna go with K2SO. I think K2SO, he's got a lot going for him. He's obviously a strong security remodified guy and
Yeah.
all this stuff. But when it came to loyalty and like doing what was what, he was pretty cool. He actually kind of, in some ways, reminds me of that little loader droid.
Right.
But he's funny. He's
Yeah.
got the sarcasm, and
I
he's
love
like,
it
I
too.
love that so
Yeah.
much. And like one of my favorite lines is he slaps Cassian when he's supposed to be undercover, and he's like, "And don't make me do it again." There's another one where that's comes from.
Right, right.
It's like, yeah.
Well, he's tough too. I mean, he took on however many stormtroopers there at the end before he died. You know.
Climb.
Yeah.
Climb.
Right. You
Yeah.
know, he was on my list, so that was really good.
Yeah, he's pretty great.
Yeah. Okay.
So.
Cool. I like him. That's a good one. My next one, Hu Yang.
Hu Yang is awesome. I wasn't sure if you were gonna think about him or not, and Hu Yang's on my list.
Is he?
Uh-huh.
He's good. I mean, his hand-to-hand combat proved to be pretty decent. I mean, he's been around for a long time.
Yeah, he's really
learned how to
old.
do, you know, how you know, his programming and stuff like that, how to fight. I mean, he had to learn to be able to, you know, protect the younglings and
He
stuff
trained
like that.
Jedi. I mean, you
Exactly.
gotta be super great.
Exactly.
My only like thing I could hold against him, which I wouldn't say if I drafted him, but since you did, is he was programmed to train Jedi how to fight. I don't know how great he's going to be against other droids. But
I mean, he's a droid. The way I saw it was he knows how to fight, and he's a droid, so
does.
he should know how other droids work. And he's
He's-
been around for so long. He's seen
right.
probably almost every droid that's out there. You know,
Tactically, he's got. It's weird to say for a droid, but like he's got a great tactical mind. Like
Yes.
he's probably the leader of your group.
right?
Yeah.
Exactly.
He's giving the orders.
Well, yeah.
You go there. You do that. You attack him this way.
right. You take this angle. You know. Yeah, very good.
Very cool. Very cool. Okay, that's awesome. I am. I think for my next pick, I might go a little bit strange.
Okay.
On pick number 4 here, I'm gonna go with. It feels weird to do this at this stage, but I'm gonna go with BD1. BD1 is Cal Kestis's droid from Jedi Survivor, Jedi Fallen
BD.
Order.
Yep.
BD is the little guy who does the map, and he just climbs on Cal, and he's
like
really
a
little.
backpack droid.
But in the game, he can hack into damaged droids and control them.
That's right. That's true.
So my thought process is in this battle, maybe he's so little and unassuming, people are kind of not paying much attention to him. And anyway, your guys take too much damage, maybe BD comes and hacks him.
Right.
Maybe that would be a pretty cool thing to have in this fight.
Okay. Very good. The last one I'm going to go with, just because, why
How can you
why
not?
shouldn't you?
Yeah,
R2D2.
yeah. I almost got him last, but
Yeah.
I went with the hacker kid instead.
Right.
How do
That
you-
was the same reason. One of the reasons is because he can hack, manipulate stuff
Yeah.
like that. He's very good. And it's R2, dude.
It's R2.
You have to go with him. I mean,
We've seen him
you
in
know,
all the
how-
movies.
you can't get by without that. You know, you have to have it. And I don't know what the ending
He
of
just
that
was whistling.
He was a little scared.
He was a little scared. He doesn't want to be in this battle.
He's
That's what I
nervous.
heard.
Right,
I heard
right,
he's
right.
terrified. My team's got in his
He's over
game.
there shaking, you know.
He's shaking in his little droid boots.
His little bucket. But yeah, I had to pick him.
You know,
as
he might
my
be
last.
the most broken because he's got plot armor. R2's never gonna have any problems. He gets through everything.
He did get fried though at the was it episode 4?
Yeah.
Death Star run.
And yet he's fine.
He came out perfectly fine.
You know, just saying. He's a great choice. Well, I'm left with some strong contenders to get into my last spot.
Okay.
And I think R2D2 was excellent choice for you. But I either counterpick R2 or I think I kind of have to, especially given our buzzer situation we've got up here on the table right now.
Yep.
And probably the other one who is in just as many battles and does just as many crazy things on screen and helps our heroes out of all their perilous situations and always defies the odds, just like R2, is his little brother. Chopper.
Very good.
So I'm picking Chopper for my last pick, and I think he might fill that same role, but probably not as successful as R2 would.
Right. I don't know.
I think
Chopper's
R2's
there pretty good. Yeah.
I think R2's a step above, but Chopper's
I
awesome.
agree, but he's right there.
He's
you
pretty
know?
cool.
He's
He's
right
pretty
behind
cool.
R2, I feel like.
And he's really spunky. He's got the
attitude,
sarcasm,
man.
the attitude, man. He's a brat. Like,
Very much
he'll do
so.
stuff on his own. He's not coordinated. He's not going to help my team. He's going
Right.
to do something on his own.
Right.
But it's going to foil your plans.
Oh, I agree.
That's cool. Do you have? Well, let me do your list real quick, and
Okay.
then so you've got the Basilisk droid, Hutt War droid,
Mhm.
Ned B, the loader droid from Kenobi,
Yep.
Hu Yang, and R2D2. I have HK-47, IG-88, the Bounty Hunter, K2SO, BD-1, and Chopper. Do you have some honorable mentions you'd like to throw on your side? Things we didn't draft?
There's one that I wanted to draft, but I decided to pick R2. It's once again, this is kind of old in Legends, but it's called a modified binoc droid. It was like presented in 1977, so a long time ago. Modified binoc droid was modified with chest cannons. Oh wait, I'm sorry, wrong one. Modified with chest cannons.
Okay.
So it's just a basic droid, like a two-leg walking droid, but in the middle of his chest has like blaster cannons that are pointed out. Still has arms that are free to do whatever, but it's just got a big blaster cannon right there in the center of the chest.
So was he like designed for something else, and he was modified for combat, or he's also like an assassin?
Modified for combat.
Okay.
It's kind of cool. They look pretty cool.
That's neat.
I like them a lot, but that was going to be probably my next one to come up with.
Okay. I think L3 should be pretty high when she
Yeah.
was in her droid form.
Mhm.
Obviously, she has the capability of causing a droid revolution. So, like, I was like, I don't know, that's probably too broken for this draft.
Right.
I don't think that's realistic. But if she could somehow manage to get all the droids behind her,
That's what I was gonna say. Could you imagine like these two team of droids are fighting each other, and she's like,
stops.
"Revolution!" And then
get
they
the
all
humans
stop.
instead.
Right. What a horrible time to be in a crowd. I think.
Yep. Yeah, I had a couple other ones. I had BB-8 on there just because.
Yeah.
Same
Oh,
reasons.
yeah. I also had this was one that I didn't want that I had on here, but after I put it on there, I was like, it is like militant used. It was a buzz droid. I really liked it because I think it would have been cool. You know, you put that guy on there, he's gonna be climbing on everybody, cutting stuff up.
True.
But it's used by the separatists. So after I typed it, I was like, I'm gonna leave it in there. I just but I'm not gonna throw it out there. But I do think buzz droids are kind of cool.
It would be funny. The only thing is, like, on their own, they're probably not that great. But like,
well, if you have a bunch,
if you had a bunch,
yeah.
Oh yeah.
I mean, if you have one, I feel like it would just be annoying.
Yeah.
You're just this little dude running around. Everybody's trying to blast them and stuff, you know.
That's funny.
But I do like a buzz droid. They're pretty cool. So
the only other one I had that was worth anything was Forlom, the other droid bounty hunter that was in Empire Strikes Back. Forlom's the one that he kind of looks like he's got bug eyes. He's with the bug.
Is that
guy.
the same type of droid that's in Mandalorian that pilots when they go to the prison barge, the New Republic prison ship to free the Twi'lek?
I can't really remember who you're talking about, but you just reminded me about IG-11. He would have been good for the draft.
IG-11, yeah, IG-11 was a Mandalorian.
Yeah.
But you had if it's the same type of droid, I'm thinking he piloted the Razor Crest to land on the New Republic like prison ship. They went to go free they had the one crazy girl Twi'lek, which she was like crazy and like weird with Mando. They went to free her brother. I think that's the same droid because they had bug eyes too and like a weird, like kind of like a skull.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think that's the same thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
This one was like there's like an insect-looking bounty hunter guy.
Does he have a
Forlom sits with
grenade
him all
strap
the time.
across his chest, or like
I
the
think so.
belt,
He's
the
got some kind of
bandolier or whatever?
looking thing.
Yeah. Okay.
And,
Gotcha.
Forlom sits like with him.
Yeah.
He kind of reminds me of like C-3PO with a completely different head.
Yes.
And his eyes are all buggy.
Yeah.
And it's
Okay. I know.
But
Yeah.
and he's all black.
That's cool.
But yeah, he was also like a bounty hunter that used to do that. And then I thought, what about that weird torture droid that we talked about before?
Oh,
too?
the one in the palace.
Yeah.
I don't know. He wouldn't do much, but If
But
he
after the
got
battle-
you, if he got you in that torture device, buddy, done. Burning the feet. Burning the
Burning
feet.
the feet slowly. Your guys aren't going to want to be over there.
I know,
you know?
that's what I'm saying.
Tell you what.
Well, cool. That was a good one. Good lineups on both sides, I feel like. These arenas are cool. I mean, just to kind of think about the different teams going up and against each other. Like I still think about the one we did, last week, and
Yeah.
I think
Fun.
that was cool. It's just this one's good too. I feel like once again, it's kind of going to be a really good mashup between the two. So cool, but it was very good.
Yeah. Thought it was enjoyable.
All right. Well, that's going to conclude today's episode. Thank you to everybody for tuning in and watching this episode of the Cantina Chat podcast. Be sure to follow us on Facebook for episode updates, as well as polls for when we do the arenas to tell us, who you think might win. And as always, may the laughs be with you.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Yep.